Okay, you're good to go.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. I am going to just introduce myself on our last and fourth week of this session. I'm Audrey from Pilates Plus. We will be doing our level 1 Mat Pilates class today with a theme of just finding our center, so continuing on. I'll let you get yourselves ready, lay out your mats, get comfy. If you need it for modifications throughout the session, you can get like a little couch pillow or a big squishy blanket, and that way you can position it right under your glutes to help maintain a nice long spine the entire time. So if you want to go run and grab that, have it handy if you need it, or if you're positioned in your house where you can set yourself up back against the wall, that'll also help maintain that nice long spine throughout this. So grab those little props if you need them. I'm just going to toss mine to the side. I'm just going to quickly run through our little principles of Pilates, like always, just so I can give you guys some extra time to warm up and get ready. So our first one is awareness, followed by your breath centering. So those are two really, really important Pilates principles. You want to be aware of what you're doing, and that awareness comes from you making sure that you're breathing the entire time. So sometimes it feels funny just to breathe the entire time, but your body needs that oxygen flow in and out. Those muscles need that. So you always want to take a big inhale and exhale. I'm never going to tell you to exhale and inhale in a certain movement. Since we're level 1, I just want to make sure that you're always breathing. Sometimes the principle is breathe out on the hardest point of the exercise, but if you're just like, there's too many things to focus on, as long as you're breathing, that's all good with me. And then we have our alignment, stability, and mobility, which all connect to one another. So our alignment, like we are doing on our fourth and last week, still finding our center. We want to have a nice long spine the whole time. And then our stability and mobility, half of our body will be stable and the other half will be mobile, which that ties into opposition. So feeling stability in one portion of your body, say let's hips up as opposed to hips down. That way you're getting that opposition, because Pilates is all about your core. So the farther you reach in oppositions, reaching those limbs in different directions, the more that core is going to have to work. And then we have our control and balance. So when that core is fired up, we get that control and balance. Say you're in the shower and you slip, or it's snowy outside. Thank God we don't have to deal with that right now. It's snowy outside, there's ice or snow or whatever, and you slip. The first thing that's going to get on and turn on in your body to help you from falling is that core. So Pilates is a great principle for that. And then our last three all coincide with one each other. So we have our focus, precision, and flow. So we just want to be aware of our body the entire time, taking everything at your own pace and listening to your body. So that's what we are going to focus on today. I'll always remind us of those principles throughout this session. But let's get started. So we're going to sit crisscross applesauce to start. You can take your little pillow or your blanket under your glutes here to create a nice long spine, or you can always rest your back right up against a wall if it's convenient. So let's set up. We're going to take those palms on the back of those hands, and we are just going to start by closing those eyes. We can find our center. When you close your eyes, picture your happy place. Somewhere on vacation, in your backyard, anywhere with family. And then just start to take a big inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Just really wanting to calm and relax our body here. So breathe at your own pace. Keep those shoulders rolled back and down. Nice long spines. Each time, big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. These are called our breath cycles. So we'll just do 3 more here. Keep inhaling and exhale. 2 more. With each inhale, feel your spine growing longer. Let's do one last one. Big inhale. And exhale. Let's take these hands right onto your lower belly, right under your belly button. Your eyes can remain closed if you would like to keep picturing that happy place. And all you're gonna do, take a big inhale, draw that belly button up into your spine, so you're fire up from your core, and then big exhale, fill up those hands with your lower belly. And then inhale, go nice and long, and then in opposition, push it out, just so you can feel the extremes of one and the other. Big inhale, and release. Scoop, take that belly button up into your spine, fire up from that core, and exhale. Scoop, pull that pelvic floor up, nice long spines, and release. And just keep flowing through this at your own pace. Whatever feels good for your body, just to relax those muscles, start finding our center. Let's do 3 more breath cycles here. Big inhale. And exhale. Last one here, big inhale, draw that belly button up into your spine. And release. Now we're gonna take these arms across your body, across your torso. Again, you can keep those eyes closed if you wanna keep finding that center and that happy place. But we are gonna take a big inhale, fill up those lungs, and on your exhale, lace that ribcage together. You feel those hands get a little bit tighter on your torso. Big exhale, open, stretch, and release. Lace up that ribcage like a shoelace or a back of a wedding dress. Inhale, let that ribcage open, release, and then fire it up. This is where we're really gonna feel those abdominals start to get our workout here. Because even breathing is a big workout for your core. Keep taking it at your own pace here. Big deep breaths. Lace up that ribcage on each exhale. Drag that belly button up into your spine. Fire it up. We're just gonna do 3 more here. Grow that spine nice and long. And release. 2 more. Open that ribcage and lace it together. Last one, big inhale. And exhale, keep that ribcage laced together here and fired up. Our hands can just be palms down, rested on our knees, still creating a nice long spine. We are gonna isolate that torso. So we are just gonna take that ribcage to the right side of the room, back to the center, and to the left. So here is where we get our stability and mobility. So we're stable in the hips down and mobile in the hips up. So when you're moving that torso, you want to keep those legs frozen and in place so you get that opposition. And even here, each time you reach to the side, fire up from those obliques to bring you right back up to center. This may seem small, but we are working that core big time. And even here, keep breathing through this. 3 more sets. Big deep breaths for 2. Last set. Last side. Bring it to the center. Now we're going to challenge ourselves, reaching in opposition with those fingertips. So if you want to challenge yourself, reach those fingertips to the sides of the room. If not, always feel free to keep those hands on your knees. Reach those arms out, and again, isolate that torso and bring it back to center. Isolate to the left and bring it back to center. Now that our hands aren't on our knees, we're really gonna have to work on keeping that lower body stable. Feel like those fingertips are reaching for something that's just a little too far away. Keep that belly button driving up into your spine so you're working through this core for 3. 2 more. Keep reaching. Last one. Last side. And leave it in the center to bring your arms up and release them back down. We're going to work through the arms just a little bit here. Work through those shoulders. So feel like you're pushing in wet cement on your way up and pushing against wet cement on your way down. That way you're creating tension in both directions and you're not just getting a workout in one direction. We're making us work out the entire time. Keep maintaining a nice long spine. 4 more here. 3, even doing this with our arms, we'll start to get a little tired, but we're just gonna power through. Big deep breaths, last one up to the sky. Leave your hands out to the sides of the room, palms down. We're gonna circle those arms to the front of the room. So little tiny circles to the front of the room. Big deep breaths, lace that rib cage. For 3, and 2, and 1. Now we have to reverse right away for little tiny circles backwards. Drive those shoulder blades back and down. Push through this little bit of a burn that we're getting. Big deep breaths for 3, and 2, and 1. Right away, palms up to the sky, slight little bend in those elbows, which gives those shoulders just a little bit of a rest. Now this time we're gonna circle, but a little bit bigger to the front of the room. So bigger circles this time, which means that you have to hold onto your core even more to keep stable and just work through those arms. For 5, 2, and 1, and reverse for your 10, and burn through these shoulders here, then we'll get a nice long stretch. For 3, 2, and 1. Now take this right arm across your chest, stretch it out. Big deep breaths here. Now we get to just rest and wiggle it out to give those arms just a tiny bit of a stretch. And let's switch now the left across your body. And big deep breaths. Every time you're stretching on your exhale, you want to feel yourself melting even deeper than you did the last time before. That way we can really melt and stretch all those muscles. And bring and release it down. We're gonna take our right hand right down on our mat or wherever you're sitting on your carpet, wherever, and we're gonna get a nice big side stretch. So you're gonna take your left arm out and reach up and over. So when we reach up and over, we don't wanna fall too far and we don't wanna make our shoulders hunchy, is what I like to call. We wanna create a nice long space from your earlobe to your shoulder. So like you're arching over like a little rainbow here. You get this nice big stretch down by your side. And just release and melt here. Big deep breaths. And give me one more big reach to the right before you lift and drop over to the left. So now the left hand is down on your mat and the right arm is reaching up over. Nice big arc like a rainbow. Stretch this side, elongate the space from your earlobe to your shoulder. And reach those little fingertips like they're just reaching for something that's just a little too far away. And again, exhale and melt a little bit deeper each time. And then reach just a little bit further to the left to come right back up to center and let those hands fall down to your sides. Let's swing our legs over on our mat so we are sending our legs nice and long. And we're gonna get a nice long stretch behind the backs of our knees here. But to start, our legs are gonna be hip distance apart. So all that means is that ankles are right in line with your hips. And you're gonna flex those feet and point and flex and point. And even when you're here, you can still have the pillow or the blanket under your glutes, or you can be pushed right up against a wall to keep that nice long spine. But if you wanna challenge yourself, you just gotta work that core to keep that spine nice and long. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Point those toes. Now we're gonna articulate down this spine to stretch and forward fold over those toes. So you're gonna just take your fingertips, start from your nose and tuck that nose into your chest, into your belly button, to your quads, to your knees, to your shins, and then over to your toes. And it's not about how far you can get down, it's about growing that spine nice and long. And as soon as you feel a big stretch here behind the backs of your legs, just take a big inhale, and on your exhale, melt, melt, melt even further into the stretch. And then on our way up, we're gonna reverse peel it up one vertebrae at a time so we're nice long spine. And we're just gonna articulate through that. So tuck that nose into the chest, look at your belly button, your thighs, your knees, your shins, all the way down to your toes. Big deep breaths, 2 breath cycles here. Big inhale and exhale. And last one, big inhale and exhale. And scoop, peel it up, every vertebrae of your spine. Roll those shoulders back and down. And again, tuck that chin. Eyes at your belly button, your quads, your knees, and your shins, and then down at your toes to articulate that spine all the way down. And then peel it all the way up, nice long spine. We're just gonna do 2 more here. I really want us to get a nice big stretch. Scoop and roll it down, articulate that eyesight, and release and melt here as much as you possibly can. Big exhale, you wanna melt like a little popsicle, and peel it up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Last one, tuck that chin, articulate it down, walk it down, and melt and release. Big deep breaths here. Stretch through that spine, stretch through the backs of these legs. And let's peel it up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Now we are going to take these knees into our chest, bent knees. I like to call them my little pyramid position. And we're gonna wrap our hands right down in front of our knees, and we're gonna articulate this spine even more to help us find center even better. So you're gonna start like you have a little tiny ball in your belly button. This is called our C curve in Pilates. So you're just gonna scoop around from that spine, kind of take that forehead to your knees, nose, eyesight to your belly button, and then articulate it up and reverse for counter stretch, where you arch your back, open up that rib cage, and take the eyesight straight up to the sky. And then let's compress it back down. And you really want to take your eyesight with you in both directions. That way you're getting a big stretch. When your eyesight follows, it lets your spine stretch as much as possible. So keep flowing through this. Big deep breaths. Nice long spines in between, so we can find our center. Over-exaggerate the stretch. You really want to loosen up from that spine, especially a little bit earlier in the morning. You want to oxygenate that body. So big deep breaths. Just 2 more sets. Last set, last side. Bring it back down to a nice neutral spine. So now we're just nice and tall, like a toothpick. And we are gonna start doing some of our roll-ups. For our first round, Pilates is all about a progression exercise. So we always start out with the easiest and we progress to get into the hardest. So this first round, our hands are gonna be on our hamstrings. Our legs are still hip distance apart, so those ankles are right in line with your hips. Hands on those hamstrings, and all you're gonna do, you're just gonna start from that C curve that we just did. Taking a little tiny ball down into your belly button, scoop and walk those hands down your hamstrings. So you lay 1 vertebrae down on the mat at a time. Every time, reach those hands up above your head to get a nice stretch in opposition. So you can take a big inhale, exhale, bring those hands back around those hamstrings, peel that eyesight up to your chest, to your belly button, to your quads, to your knees. Nice long spines. We're just gonna do 4 more here. Scoop it down, big deep breaths. Use those hamstrings for help and reach those arms up and over in opposition. Inhale, exhale, scoop, eyesight at your belly button, peel it up, drive that belly button down into your spine to work through that core, and nice long spines. Scoop and roll it down, 3 more. Breathe through this and always take it at your own pace. Reach in opposition and scoop to lift. You want to peel that eyesight up your body all the way up. Use those hands to help and roll it down. 2 more. Articulate through that spine like it's a little pearl necklace. 1 vertebrae down at a time. And scoop to lift, articulate. Use those hands on your hamstrings to scoop. Nice long spine. 1 more here. Roll it down, articulate down through that spine. Reach in opposition. and scoop to lift up. Peel that eyesight up 1 inch of your body at a time. Bring it back up to center. And now we're going to increase. So that was our kind of level 1. Now we're going to go to our level 2. If you want to stay using those hands on the hamstrings, that is great with me. You listen to your body will tell you what's best. But if you want to give yourself a little challenge, we're going to stack those arms on top of each other. That way our hands won't hold on to anything, so we're really going to have to use that core. Same thing, glue these feet down to the mat. Start with that little C curve and scoop and roll it down. 1 vertebrae at a time. Make sure those feet don't lift up and off of your mat. Reach those hands above your head for a stretch in opposition. Restack those hands and peel that eyesight up to your chest, to your belly button, to your quads, to your knees, and nice long spine. Roll those shoulders back and down each time. Exhale, scoop it down. Start with that C curve. Glue those feet down onto the mat. And reach in opposition for a nice big stretch. Restack those arms. Peel that eyesight up 1 vertebrae at a time. Really work through that core. Roll those shoulders back and down. And release. Big, deep breaths here. Reach in opposition and scoop. Peel it up 1 vertebrae at a time. 2 more to power through here. Take it at your own pace. There's no rush. You always want to feel like you're going through wet cement. So it's better to go slower, like you're going through honey. You have resistance. That way you work your core even more. Last time here, scoop it down. Reach those hands in opposition, restack, and scoop it up 1 vertebrae at a time. Alrighty, now we have our last and final round. So if you want to stay with your hands on your hamstrings or you want to stay with your arms stacked, that's good with me. But if you want the challenge, you're going to take those arms straight up to the sky. This way, we're shooting our energy in opposition, so that's going to make our core work even more. So listen to your body here, reach those fingertips up to the sky and start with that C curve to roll it down. Those arms naturally fall and follow. Control, 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 and then reach up over your head. Big stretch. And then scoop to lift, bring those hands down, and then start to peel up that eyesight. And those arms gradually follow to go back up. So you're gonna scoop and release down. Big deep breaths. Drive that belly button down into that spine when we crunch up here. So take that belly eyesight to your belly button and then peel it up. Reach those fingertips. Use all your energy and scoop it down, keeping those feet planted down onto the mat. Work that core. Keep breathing here and always take it at your own pace. We got 2 more. Scoop it down. Articulate that eyesight in both directions. Eyesight your belly button, your quads, your knees, and then all the way up. One last one. Scoop it down. And we are going to keep it down on this last one. Reach those hands in opposition, keeping those knees in your little pyramid position. Glue them together, and you're going to do little knee waves here. So all you're going to do is rock those knees from one side of the room up and over to the opposite side of the room. This is a nice big stretch for your spine, but also every time you bring your knees up and over to the opposite side, your obliques have to fire up. So this is still working that core. Big deep breaths. Work those obliques, fire up those little abs on the side to bring the knees up and over each time. Just for 3 more sets so we can stretch out that core. 2 more. Big deep breaths. Last set. Last side. Freeze those knees in the middle. Take those arms straight up to the sky. I am going to just have us like we're reaching for something in the sky to lift those shoulder blades up and off the mat, and then release them down, tap the shoulder blades back. So you kind of see me reach and drop and release. Reach those fingertips high up to the sky and release. That way we can feel what it's like to have a nice open chest. Because next we're gonna do our bridging, and that's very important. So we get the one extreme and where we should be. 3 more. 2 and 1. Let those arms rest down by your sides. So we're gonna do our bridging here, which means that we're gonna use the glutes and the hamstrings, big time. So you're gonna keep those legs glued together, like I saran wrapped you in a tight little tiny tube. That'll really help us work with those inner thighs. Keep those arms long and strong, and we're gonna just bridge up for 10 to warm up. So all you're gonna do is start from your lowest vertebrae of your spine, out the base of your spine, and peel up 1 vertebrae at a time. And scoop and roll it down. Like your spine is a little pearl necklace. 1 vertebrae down and up. And scoop and lower. Keep that rib cage laced together here so you're really working through that core. Taking it at your own pace, creating your own resistance, gluing those knees. Pushing down the energy in the palms of your hands as well will help lift you up and off. And you always want to create a nice little shallow bowl when you're up in your bridge. We've just got 4 more here. 3 more to peel it up, and always take this at your own pace. 2 more to scoop and lower. Last one, lift it up. And exhale, roll it down. Now we're gonna separate the feet just a little bit to be hip distance width apart. That gives us a wider frame, so we have a bigger base, and that way when you have a bigger base, you just feel more balanced and more in control. So arms still long and strong, and again, we're just gonna do our bridge up for 10, so we can feel the difference here. So scoop and lift, shoot that knee energy up over those toes, and release it down. Scoop to lift, articulate 1 vertebrae up at a time, and lower. Make sure that rib cage is laced together. You want to work through the core here to be that foundational point for you, so you can really work through the glutes and the hamstrings. And keep breathing through this, taking it at your own pace. Every time you get to the top, just extra squeeze those glutes and those hamstrings. We've just got 5 more here. Big deep breaths. It's important for the backs of the legs to be as strong as the fronts of the legs, or else the backs of the legs are going to get really tight. So this is going to help stretch and lengthen and make them strong like those quads. 2 more here. Peel it up. And release it down. Last one, scoop to lift. And lower. Now we're going to take those hands onto our thighs, onto those quads. And we're going to bridge with not having our hands down on the mat. So that way we'll just feel the little bit of a difference, how much a difference those hands make when they're down. Now, when our hands are on our quads, we're just gonna have to use those glutes and those hamstrings even more. We're just gonna do like 5 here just to warm up, and then I'm gonna have us do something a little bit extra. So with those hands on the quads, just peel up 1 vertebrae of your spine at a time and roll it down. 4 more, articulate to scoop it up and lower it down. 3 more here. Big deep breaths and take it at your own pace. If you really feel like you need those hands down by your sides, always go for it. Listen to your body. Let's hold this last one up. And now all we're gonna do is tap those glutes down and lift right back up. Slight little tap and lift. 8 more. So this is really gonna get through those glutes. So breathe through this. Every time you lift, extra squeeze those glutes and those hamstrings. We just have 5. 4 more. 2. And 1, roll it down, 1 vertebrae of your spine at a time, beautiful. Hug this right knee into your chest and then the left, and let's rock from side to side. We're gonna take just a little rest to stretch it out, because it's important to stretch throughout this entire session, but after a big glute work like that, we're gonna need to hug these knees in. And if you want to stay just hugging your knees in, that's great. If you want a big, deeper glute and hamstring stretch, you can open up to what is called a happy baby. So those hands are just wrapped around those feet, and those knees are right kind of like down by your shoulders and out from your armpits. You can just rock from side to side. This is great to open up those hips, stretch out those hamstrings, and this is great stretch for the lower back as well. So big, deep breaths. Big inhales, and again, like I said, on your exhale, just feel like you're melting a little bit deeper into the stretch each time. Let's take 2 more breath cycles here. Big inhales and exhale. Keep breathing here. Last one, big inhale. And on your exhale, release out of your stretch. Let's send those legs nice and long out on our mat. Arms long and strong. We're gonna start to peel up that eyesight at our belly button to really work through the core. Now, if you ever feel a strain in your neck, you want to work from your core more, because as opposed to lifting up just from your head, it's gonna make a strain on anybody's neck, as opposed to feeling like you're lifting from your chest to lift those shoulder blades off. That's what we want. That's how you get that good core work. But if you ever do feel a strain in your neck and you're just don't want to lift it up, that's totally fine. Even if you reach those arms a little forward and come back and reach and come back, that's still your core. So you listen to your body here. So what we're gonna do to start, arms are just a little lifted off, and if you wanna take your eyesight with you, take a big inhale, exhale, reach those fingertips, drag that belly button down into your spine, eyesight at your belly button, and then roll it down. And 4 more, scoop, reach those fingertips, grow those arms nice and long, and relax it down. Even if your head doesn't come up, you're still reaching those fingertips nice and long to really work through that core and release. 2 more here, reach and lower. And last one, scoop to lift, work that core and lower. Now bring your right knee into your little tabletop position to bring the left to meet it. So our tabletop position here, our knees are in line with our hips and our ankles are in line with our knees. So imagine you had a plate of food on your shins. You don't want to spill it into your face and you don't want to spill it into the floor. You want to hold it steady. Same thing here. Peeling up the eyesight to your belly button. Lift those hands a little bit off the mat and scoop eyesight at your belly button. Drive that belly button down to the spine. Work through that core and release. And even if your head's not coming up, those fingertips are still reaching a little further and relax. 3 more. Big exhale. And release. 2. And relax. Last one, scoop and relax. Now our last round here, that was our medium. This one's gonna be our hardest. So if you ever feel like you can't keep your toes straight up to the sky, you can always give them a slight bend or come right back down to that tabletop position. But this will be our hardest one here. Toes up to the sky, arms long and strong down by your sides. Big inhale, exhale, eyesight at the belly button. Drive that belly button down into your spine and release. And peel it up and release. And 3 more, and relax. 2, and release. Last 1. And let's hug these knees into our chest again. Big deep breaths, rocking from side to side, just to give ourselves a little bit of a rest because we have our 100s coming up next. That was our warm up for our 100. So now we know what it's like to fire up from that core each time. So keep breathing here just so we can relax a little bit before we work that core again. I'll start out a little bit easier and then progress our way to, again, getting a little bit harder. So let's take 2 more breath cycles here. Big inhales and exhale. Last 1, big inhale and exhale. Let's bring your knees to your tabletop position. Again, knees in line with hips, ankles in line with knees. You don't want to drop that plate of food. There are various different ways that you can do your 100. So I'm going to go through them starting with level 1, level 2, and level 3. So level 1, your knees are in your tabletop position, where our arms are going to do our little pump. If you want to make it harder, your eyesight can be at your belly button. If not, your head can always be down. And then medium, toes up to the sky, our arms will do the little pump. Your head can rest down, but if you want to make it harder, your eyesight's at your belly button. And then for our hardest round, our legs are out angled at your 100. The lower they are down, the harder it's going to be for your core. So you gauge that how you want. And then again, our arms are going to pump. If you want to make it harder, your eyesight's going to be at your core. We're all going to start in our tabletop position to prep and prepare for it. So your arms are up to the sky. We're going to take a big inhale, exhale, and only go through half of our 100. So all that means is that I'm just going to count to 50 instead of counting to 100, just so we can work our way gradually up to the 100. So arms up to the sky, big inhale, exhale, push it out long to your 100 position. And let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug those knees in. Rest that head down if it was up. Big deep breaths. Rock from side to side. Massage out through the spine. We get our little tiny rest here, because next we're going to finish out that 100. So we're going to do another 50, just so we can really warm up that core and get it fired up, because the 100 is what's going to make that core burn. That's getting right up into those upper abdominals. Let's take 2 more big deep breaths. Big inhales and exhales. Last 1, big inhale and exhale. Bring those knees back to your tabletop position, arms up. Big inhale, exhale. Let's prepare and push out to your 100. So we can inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug those knees in. Rest that head down. Big deep breaths. Again, rock from side to side. Massage out your spine. Get a little bit of a rest and a wiggle here. Because since it's our 4th week on our first 4th week session, I am going to push us to take a 100 all the way through. So we won't do a 50 and a 50. I'm going to count for our 100 all the way through. And at any point, if you're like, oh my gosh, I need rest, go take it. Just come back down, hug these knees into your chest. But if you really want to work that core, let's try to get that 100 all the way through. But always listen to your body. So starting in our tabletop position, arms up to the sky. Big inhale, exhale, send it out to your 100. And let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep inhaling. We're halfway there. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release it down. Gorgeous, big, deep breath. Stretch it out. Massage out that spine. Big, deep breaths. Big inhales and exhales. 2 more here. Last big inhale and exhale. And let's release our feet down onto the mat in our little pyramid position. Arms can stay long for our little knee waves. These little knee waves, it's going to stretch out that core that we just worked. So you're going to get a nice big stretch through your abdominals on each side. Big deep breaths, because we're not done working that core yet. Pilates always works your core regardless of what we're doing, but we have one more core-centered workout exercise here. And then we'll get those legs. So keep breathing here. 2 more breath cycles. Last set. Last side. Bring those knees to center. You're going to bring those knees to your tabletop position, arms long and strong. You're going to cross the right ankle over the left. So your ankles are just crossed, and we're going to do a tiny little reverse crunch. So all that means is that our booty is going to be lifting, our lower spine is going to be lifting off the mat just a little bit to really get those lower abdominals. So you have abs starting right from under your rib cage all the way down to your tummy and below your belly button. So we're going to focus on those lower abdominals. When our eyesight's up at our belly button, that's working your upper abdominals. So now we're just getting the reverse. Keep those arms long and strong. And all you're gonna do is take those knees into your chest and a little tiny lift off the mat and control down. The bigger and the more you lift off, the harder it's gonna be for your core. So you take it at your own pace. Take it down to your tabletop. Big inhale, exhale, take those knees into your tummy and lift and control and lower and push the energy down into the palms of your hands to help lift and control down and lower. We've got 7 more. Breathe through this. Little tiny lift each time and control. You don't want to fall down because that way you're not working your core as much as you could. 4 more. 3. 2 more, you can do it. Last one. And bring it down. Right away, cross the left over your right. We're gonna do it again because there's nothing better than trimming away that lower belly. So we are gonna drive those knees into your chest and scoop and lift and control and lower. And you take it at your own pace. Breathe through this and control, control, control. Taking those knees up and into your chest is really gonna get those lower abdominals, and the little lift off is gonna make you forced to control even more. I'm gonna count for 5. 4 more, take it at your own pace. 3. 2 more. Last one. And roll it down. Relax your feet down onto the mat below you. You're gonna cross that right leg over your left. Drop those legs to the left side and take those hands in opposition and that eyesight and look in the opposite direction so you get a full rotation in your spine. You're stretching out through that core. And you're taking nice big deep breaths here. We just work that core big time, so we need to give it some time to stretch out. Big inhales and exhales. Last big inhale and exhale. Let's take those legs up, back to center. You're gonna uncross them and then cross the left over the right. Let the legs fall to the right side this time. Take the eyesight in the arms in opposition and get that nice big stretch. Nice long spine, stretch out from that core. And keep taking big inhales and exhales. Let's do 2 more here. Big inhale and release. Last one, big inhale and exhale. Let's bring it back to center. Uncross those legs. And we are going to hug both those knees into our chest. And we're gonna work the legs here just before we breathe it out. So we're gonna hold the left knee into our chest. Right toe is gonna go straight up to the sky. And we're gonna start by lowering and lifting this right leg. So drop it down and scoop. Drop it down just before it hits your mat or the floor underneath you. That way you're staying engaged and working through the quad the entire time. Big deep breaths. Work even here, work those lower abdominals to take the toe back up to the sky. That means that you just gotta drive that belly button down into the spine even more. We have 3 more. 2. And hold this last one up to the sky. Still hugging in your left knee. You're gonna circle that right toe in the sky for 10. Tiny little circles here. That way we're being stable in our hips up and mobile in our hips down. So this is where our stability and our mobility comes in. Feeling like you're going through some wet cement, point that toe straight up to the sky so you start engaging through that quad. We got 4 more before we reverse. 3, 2, and 1, and reverse that direction for your another 10. And 9, work through that quad, squeeze that booty, squeeze those hamstrings. Big deep breaths, work that core here to keep your upper body stable. We've just got 3, 2, and 1, and hug this right knee into your chest. Right away, let's send that left toe straight up to the sky. And let's lower and lift it for your 10. Lower it just right before it hits the mat. So you're staying engaged, working through that quad. Drive that belly button down into your spine to work those lower abdominals. And keep breathing through this. For 3, 2 more. And hold that toe up to the sky. And let's prepare little circles with our left toe straight up in the sky, working from the hip up to your toe, keeping the hips up to your head stable. We've got 4 more. Feel like you're going through wet cement here. 2, and 1. Reverse for your last set of 10. And 9. Breathe through this. Taking it at your own pace. We've got 4 more. 2, and 1. Hug this left knee into your chest. We are going to rock and roll ourselves up using those knees or those hamstrings to help lift. And we are going to come right back to our little start position in our crisscross applesauce. And we are going to breathe it out for today. So those palms are straight up to the sky. Roll those shoulders back and down. Again, here's where you can grab your pillow or your blanket to put under your glutes or sit right up against a wall. And let's take a big inhale. Fingertips grow long up to the sky. And then exhale and release. Take it at your own pace here. Big deep breaths. We just want to flow through this. And exhale to melt. 2 more. Big inhale, scoop. Keep those shoulders back and down and release. Last one big inhale up to the sky. Prayer position those hands. Exhale them down to your heart center. Your eyes can blink closed and your head can tip down. With one last big inhale and exhale, feel all the stress release out of your body. Open up those eyes, open up your hands, and you guys did it for this morning. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming. I would be more than happy to have you guys for another 4 weeks. You can send an email to either Sanjita or Megan, and you can ask them what the next 4 weeks is going to look like. I will, for the next 4 weeks, prepare a different class with a different theme. So we're always staying up on progressing through our Pilates. We're never going to be stuck in one type of workout or one class. So I'd be happy to see you guys for the next 4 weeks. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, shoot them an email and we will talk and answer all your questions. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.